A lot of jealousy and a lot of hate in the sport of boxing. I want to see all the young fighters, no matter what your color is. I want to see you do good. I want to see you do great. I want to continue to see great fights.
Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder.
As the Roach fight, I knew it would be a good fight because we know Roach is a good fighter.
Floyd Mayweather is reportedly helping train Lamont Roach for his upcoming rematch with Gervonta Tank Davis. This could give Roach an advantage, as he already has experience fighting Davis. With Mayweather's guidance, Roach may be able to find and use Tank's weaknesses, showing that this won't be an easy fight for Davis. Lamont Roach has been an impressive boxer since the start of his career. With a strong amateur background, he built a solid foundation that helped him succeed as a professional. His technical skills, discipline, and strong work ethic make him a tough opponent in the lightweight division. Interestingly, Roach has a long history with Davis. When Roach was just 16, he had already shared the ring with him, learning about Davis's style early on. That experience helped Roach grow into the skilled fighter he is today and taught him what it takes to compete at the top level. Now, as a lightweight champion, Roach is gaining more attention, especially after his performance against Tank Davis. Fans and analysts are taking his talent seriously. His ability to go head-to-head with Davis earned him a lot of respect, and many now see him as a real contender. With his name rising in the boxing world, Roach is focused on proving he belongs among the best. His rematch with Davis is a big chance to show he's truly an elite fighter.
He really is Lamont Roach, bro. And what was his early life like? He was born in Washington, D.C., but he was raised in Upper Marlboro, a city in Maryland. Lamont Roach didn't touch his first bag until he was 9 years old, bro, when his dad took him to the No Excuse Boxing Club. And this is where he learned the basics of the sport and ultimately gained his love for boxing. These two right here are Lamont Roach's parents. This is Lamont Roach Sr., who still trains Lamont Roach today. And this is Lamont Roach's mother here, Tia Roach, and ultimately the reason why Tank let Lamont make it to the end of the fight. But anyway, back to the story. Lamont Roach has two siblings. He has a younger brother, Jordan Roach, who also boxes, by the way. Here's Jordan's box trick right here. And this young lady right here is his sister, Taylor Roach. Bro, by the time Lamont got to middle school, bro, he was training very seriously, man. He was training upwards of 5 times a week, bro. He was taking it very seriously. Lamont was a 2-time National Golden Gloves champ for juniors, National PAL champ, and 5-time Ringside World champ, bro. This man was going crazy, man. And this is the footage right here from 2010 when him and GervontaDavis actually fought, bro. Gervonta got gold and Roach got silver. They were both ranked number 1 and 2 nationally, bro. So Roach is a hell of a contender, man. Roach had a very impressive amateur record, man. Boasting 125 wins and 15 losses. 2 of those losses coming by Tank, man. Also, when him and Tank fought, Roach was 15 and Tank was 16 at the time. 3 years later, 2013, Roach actually won his National Golden Gloves Championship. And he was also USA Boxing Youth National Champ as well. And 1 year later, before his pro debut, he was signed a Golden Boy, man, becoming part of Oscar's team. So in 2014 at 18 years old, Lamont will make his pro debut, where he got a unanimous decision. And it was over Victor Galindo. And he was in school, man, for actually mechanical engineering, following in his father's footsteps, just in case boxing didn't work out. And bro, he was a terror in the pros, man. He was undefeated until 2019, where he suffered his first loss to Jamel Herring. But that's okay, man. He was there to be great. He was going for the WBO super featherweight belt. Over the next couple of years, bro actually had to do a lot of reflecting, man. That first loss is always the worst one. So he did that. After dusting himself off and getting his mind together, bro, he went ahead and captured his own title, man, in 2023 over Hector Luis Garcia, making him the WBA super featherweight champ. And as we all know, man, he just fought Tank this past weekend. It ended in a draw. It was a good fight, honestly. I can't even be mad at it. And bro, who knows what's next for Roach? Hopefully we get that rematch. Hey, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching the video. Leave a comment down below.
For lightweight division, as the current WBA champion, he has shown that he can compete at the highest level. His success has placed him 14th in the world and 3rd in the USA, proving his skill and consistency in the ring. Roach has faced many tough opponents, and each fight has helped him grow as a boxer. He never backs down from a challenge and always looks for chances to test himself against top fighters. One of his biggest strengths is his ability to adapt and overcome difficult opponents, which makes him a serious threat in his weight class. Winning the WBA lightweight title was a major milestone in his career, confirming his place among boxing's elite. But Roach isn't satisfied with just having the belt. He wants to keep proving himself by fighting the best. His upcoming rematch with Gervonta "Tank" Davis is a huge opportunity to show his skills on a bigger stage and earn even more respect. With a strong record and a clear drive to succeed, Roach is more motivated than ever. He knows that every fight is a chance to build his legacy, and he's ready to give everything in the ring. Fans and experts are starting to see his true potential, and a win over Davis would make him one of the top forces in the lightweight division.
We're gonna be checking for any suspicious opponents on Lamont Roach record. He's 25-1 with 10 big wins coming by the way of knockout, my people. He's in the super featherweight division. He's ranked number 14 in the world and number 3 in the USA, my people. He has a WBA title right now in the super featherweight division. He's fighting GervontaDavis in December, but you know we gotta check how he even got there and how he started his career. His pro debut, he went against Victor. He was 1-3. That's fine. It's your pro debut. First fight as a professional. You feel me? I ain't gonna get at you. Next person was 1-6. Alright, I mean, we ain't do better, but it's your second fight. Like, fourth person was 0-1. That was a little sussy because he ended up 0-10. He never won a day in his life. So he never got his hand raised in a boxing match. You feel me? And then the next person, he stepped it up, though. He went to undefeated. It's only 2 fights, but he was 2-0. Then 12-9. That's a journey, man. I'm not gonna lie. 4-2, 3-4. These are looking good. 8-5. That's a journeyman in the making. He got to win a race.
Teofimo Lopez has openly criticized Gervonta "Tank" Davis's knockout record, questioning the quality of the opponents he has faced. He stated, "I think a lot of people just focus on the knockouts he gets, but against who? They're not seasoned fighters." Lopez believes Davis has not yet fought top-level competition, implying that his knockout victories lack real meaning because of the perceived weak level of his opponents. Lopez pointed out that Davis has never faced a fighter like him, saying, "Never at all, never." This critique highlights Lopez's strong confidence in his own abilities and his doubts about Davis's place among the top boxers in the world.
You think you dominate Tank?
I think I dominate any of them. If you really look at it, if you gotta really tap in on this. Look at the resume, all that extra, whatever. There's a certain limit that you hit, right? But then there's that next criteria or that next top tier. And if you don't match that, you know, you never gonna know how great you really are. And I've done that a few amount of times already. I jumped out that box and done that. So I have yet to see Gervonta come out of that box yet. You know what I'm saying? They're about to put him with a guy at 130 pounds. Whether he's a champion or not, you're getting a guy lighter than you to come up and weight to make you look good again. You know what I'm saying?
Despite receiving a big offer to fight Conor Benn, Gervonta "Tank" Davis decided to face Lamont Roach instead, believing it would be an easier fight. Many fans and analysts agreed, as Roach, a natural lightweight, was moving up in weight to challenge Tank. Given Davis's knockout power and Roach's smaller size, most expected a dominant win for the Baltimore fighter. However, things didn't go as expected. Instead of an easy night, Tank found himself struggling against Roach's technical skills, defensive abilities, and well-thought-out game plan. Despite being from a lower weight class, Roach was well-prepared and exposed some weaknesses in Tank's approach. This led to what many consider one of Davis's worst performances. The expectation was that Tank would easily win, but instead, he faced a fighter who refused to back down. Rather than proving his dominance, Tank's poor performance has led to criticism, with many wondering if he underestimated Roach or if his skills are starting to decline.
I know Lamont Roach, but, you know, when you're looking at Shakur Stevenson, when you're looking at, you know, these other fighters that he should really be fighting, you know, he don't want to do them fights. He wants to retire.
Yeah.
So don't come and Yeah, but don't come come at me and go, oh yeah, let's give it all, you know, very big bollocks and go, oh yeah, let's give him some stick and then make out like we want the fight. And then we send an offer over and then you fight for 15 million and yet you fight Lamont Roach. Don't do all that. Do you know what I mean?
It was a real offer. That was true then.
It was a real offer. We offered. I said, listen, you keep talking shit. My promoter's going to get back to you in 48 hours. 50 minutes. Initial offer sent over. You know, but was it Unquell didn't let him out to play? His boss didn't let him out. That's it. So he wants to talk about, 50 million. First offer. First offer.
There was room to negotiate.
Of course there was. But he's an idiot. I don't even know if he knows what negotiating means.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has consistently shown respect for Lamont Roach Jr.'s abilities, even though there was public doubt before the December 14th, 2024 bout between Gervonta Tank Davis and Roach. Hearn acknowledged the criticism surrounding the matchup, but defended Roach's credentials. He said, Lamont Roach is a good fighter. The problem is no one knows who he is. With Tank's position in the sport, people want him in big fights, and this is not a big fight. The fight ended in a majority draw, which was controversial due to the 9th round incident when Davis took a knee, and no knockdown was called. Reflecting on this, Hearn commented, if you take a knee in a fight and touch the ground while punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. This perspective suggests that Hearn believes Davis should have been ruled as knocked down in that instance. While Hearn did not explicitly say that Davis should have lost the fight, his comments show that he thinks Roach's performance was strong, and that the 9th round incident should have led to a knockdown ruling. This highlights Hearn's recognition of Roach as a serious fighter despite others' doubts.
In boxing, there's obviously been a hurdle. Will he get through the second fight, Gervonta?
Maybe not. I mean, I think he's had a result, to be honest with you, because one, he should have lost the fight. I mean, he should have had a point deducted. There's no doubt about that. But two, people criticised the Roach fight. I knew it would be a good fight because we know Roach is a good fighter, but people in boxing know that Roach is a good fighter. Now it's giving him another fight. Because if he would have beaten Roach, he's kind of backed in a corner to fight Shakur Stevenson, I think. But now he's got a rematch that's actually much bigger than the first fight. So, yeah, I think he'll be more switched on for this maybe, but Roach...
Floyd Mayweather has always been passionate about mentoring young fighters and helping them reach their full potential. One of his biggest success stories is Gervonta Tank Davis. Mayweather played a key role in Davis's early career, guiding him with his experience and knowledge. Under Mayweather's mentorship, Davis became a star in boxing, known for his power and skill. However, Davis has since parted ways with Mayweather Promotions and decided to manage his career independently. With this change, Mayweather has been looking for other talented fighters to support. One of these fighters is Lamont Roach Jr., who recently fought Davis in a highly controversial match. The fight ended in a majority draw, but many believe Roach should have been credited with a knockdown in the 9th round when Davis appeared to take a knee. Eddie Hearn, a respected promoter, has shared his thoughts on the situation. He stated that Roach has always been a great fighter, despite being doubted by many. Hearn also believes that the referee made a mistake by not calling the knockdown.
You will come back to boxing?
Oh no. I'm not coming back to the sport of boxing. The sport of boxing was good to me. I was able to make a lot of smart investments on the outside, and I just want to help. You know, like I said, the fighters that's up and coming. You know, like I was talking about, like Gervonta Tank Davis. I don't understand why he's not in the top 10 pound for pound. Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, Benavidez. The list goes on. There's so many tough fighters out there. So many great young champions out there that I'm proud of.
Floyd Mayweather's influence on young fighters has always been a topic of debate. His approach focuses heavily on defense, precision, and calculated risk-taking. While this worked exceptionally well for Mayweather during his undefeated career, some believe it doesn't suit every fighter. However, Lamont Roach Jr. seems to be benefiting from some elements of Mayweather's philosophy. His recent performances show improved defensive awareness, sharper counterpunching, and better movement inside the ring. Roach's evolution raises questions about whether he is now working with, or at least influenced by, Mayweather. With Gervonta, Tank Davis no longer under Mayweather's promotional banner, Floyd's focus on Roach could add an interesting twist to their rivalry. If Roach has truly adopted Mayweather's strategies, it could make a rematch with Davis even more exciting, as it would be a battle of styles. Davis's aggressive knockout power versus Roach's developing defensive skills. Despite Mayweather's proven success, some critics question his training philosophy. They argue that his fighters lack the endurance and grit needed for long battles in the ring. Mayweather has famously said that fighters don't need long training camps, believing that skill and strategy outweigh pure physical conditioning. However, some trainers disagree, insisting that long-term conditioning is crucial for maintaining power and stamina in the later rounds. As Roach prepares for a potential rematch with Davis, it remains to be seen whether Mayweather's influence will help or hinder him. Will his refined technique and defensive improvements give him the edge, or will Davis's explosive power prove too much? With Mayweather's shadow looming over this rivalry, the rematch is shaping up to be a fascinating chess match between two rising stars.
You train 6 weeks before the fight, and Floyd Mayweather messed these boxers up thinking that they can only train 6 weeks before the fight and then they'll be good. Y'all remember when Floyd said that? Give me 6 weeks, I'll beat him.
Lamont Roach is more determined than ever as he prepares for a potential rematch against Gervonta Tank Davis. The controversy surrounding their first fight has only increased his motivation, and he knows he has to push himself harder this time. Roach believes he did enough to win in their initial bout, but the judges saw it differently. Now, he's focused on making sure there is no doubt about the outcome. Roach has openly stated that he needs to do more, train harder, sharpen his skills, and refine his strategy. "I have to push myself to another level," he said, adding, "I have to do everything just a little more this time." He understands that against a dangerous opponent like Davis, every small improvement counts, whether it's his footwork, power, or endurance. Roach is committed to elevating every aspect of his game. His mindset is clear. He refuses to let the judges influence the decision. He wants to dominate and leave no room for controversy. "I'm more than motivated," Roach said. "This time I'm making sure there's no debate." With his renewed determination, Roach is putting in extra hours at the gym, studying his mistakes and focusing on executing the perfect game plan. If he follows through, the rematch could be his defining moment, a chance to prove that he truly belongs at the top.
I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot. I have to do everything just a little more. And I think that will definitely put me over the hump. And I'm more than motivated to get back in there, get back in the camp, and work hard so I can secure a victory over a pound for pound fighter, in which I believe that I am myself.
Roach is seeking high-level sparring partners to improve his performance ahead of a rematch with Davis. Davis's aggressive yet technical style mirrors some of Roach's own strengths, making him an ideal training partner. Roach wants to challenge himself against top-tier opposition in the gym to ensure he's fully prepared for fight night. By sharpening his reflexes and adapting to pressure, he aims to neutralize Davis's explosiveness. This calculated training strategy could give Roach the edge he needs to secure victory.
Like I said, in boxing, at the end of the day, Lamont Roach is a world champion at the end of the day. Like I said, the whole thing about Lamont Roach is that he could fight, and you can't overlook anybody, especially not at the top level. Everybody knows he can fight. And Tank and Lamont Roach have been acquainted with each other since they were young, since they were young fighters. And, just coming up in the game and knowing each other, the comfortability, that's still something that could threaten one another. But I feel like Tank going to come out on top at the end of the day. But Lamont might give people, a tougher fight than he might.
Speaking on that, though, like you fought guys early in your amateur career, right? And then you fight them now. You already know what to expect, or is there somewhat of an evolution?
No, it's definitely an evolution. It's definitely change in people, but a lot of times, you know, probably half the time, people mentality stay the same, and their personalities don't always change. So you might be more comfortable with somebody, you know, just growing up with them and knowing where they come from and knowing their background and stuff, versus just not knowing the fighter at all.
Who wins that fight, Lane?
Tank. I got Tank.
How?
I don't know. I feel like Tank might break you down, work his way to a knockout, because Tank is great at breaking fighters down, you know, just punches his way into it, boxes his way into